On the surface, Crimson Desert presents us with a world we think we know. It's a beautiful medieval continent called Pywel. We see mercenaries, knights, and castle. We see a bit of Witcher mixed with the realism of Red Dead Redemption 2. But then, something feels off. In the middle of this dark fantasy epic, we find pilotable mechs, jetpacks, and mechanical dragons. Pearl Abyss wants us to believe this is just for the world building. We will have different areas, and each area will have a domain of its own. The areas we know are Hernand, Paleun, Daminis, Delicia, and finally Crimson Desert. But if you look closer, the logic of this world does not just feel like a fantasy novel steampunk mixed with a medieval continent. It feels like a reconstruction. Today, we are diving into Pywel. I'm going to show you why Pywel may not be a real planet, but a virtual or extra-dimensional simulation. And why Crimson Desert is probably the most ambitious Assassin's Creed type of game ever made. To prove this, we have to take a look at how Kliff actually grows in the game. In almost every RPG ever made, you gain experience points. You kill an enemy, you earn XP, and you upgrade your character. Pretty simple, right? It's the biological representation of learning and growing. But Crimson Desert has completely removed traditional leveling and XP. Instead, progression is entirely tied to Abyss artifacts, cubic tokens that look less like ancient relics and more like an advanced data storage device. Sounds familiar, right? Piece of Eden. Get it? In Assassin's Creed, ancient objects known as pieces of Eden, like the legendary Apple of Eden, were technological relics left behind a precursor civilization called the Isu. To people living in the past, these devices looked like magic, but in reality, they were simply technology far beyond human understanding. Think about that. You don't learn a skill, you download it. You find a cubic fragment, and suddenly your combat protocols are updated. This anti-RPG system is concrete evidence that Kliff is not an organic being in a natural world. And if you still don't agree with me, then tell me, how would you explain this? Even the way we learn skills from NPCs supports this. You don't always train with them, you don't always upgrade a skill in your skill tree. You observe the NPCs through a watcher or a knowledge system, and the ability is instantly added to your arsenal. Isn't that odd? If you still are not convinced, look at the city of Delicia. This is the smoking gun of simulation theory. While the rest of Pywel is struck in the Middle Ages, Delicia is an industrial powerhouse with electric lights and 19th century machinery. It doesn't look like a natural technological evolution. It looks like a different asset pack was accidentally loaded into a medieval map. In Delicia, we find the combat robot, a fully pilotable dwarven mecha equipped with machine guns, EMP pulses, and rockets. We see trains passing overhead and even a jetpack that allows Kliff to fly at speeds impossible for a human. I mean, dude, you just became Iron Man in this game. So, how can a world that has not invented the printing press suddenly have electromagnetic pulses? Now let's take a look at some of Kliff's abilities. Community members have noticed that whenever Kliff uses his most advanced abilities like the grappling hook and gliding cloak, his arm physically changes. It is consumed by a swirling black aura that looks remarkably like the Black Spirit from Black Desert Online. We even received this ability from an angel-like woman on the Sky Island. I mean, think about it. Instead of venom-like symbiote, it could have been just a cape or wings. But why this? In the early trailers, we actually saw a shadowy entity hovering over Kliff, almost certainly a Black Spirit reference. In current builds, the entity has been contained within a piece, the Axiom bracelet. You can argue that it's magic, but it could be that the Axiom bracelet is like a system level interface. the core tool that enables many of his supernatural abilities in this virtual world. As we have seen in the recent gameplays, at one point in the game, Kliff encounters a mysterious woman on a floating sky island, a place that already feels detached from the normal rules of Pywel. She's the one who explains the nature of the Abyss artifacts, guiding Kliff towards these strange cubic fragments scattered throughout the world. And if you have played Assassin's Creed, this moment feels strangely familiar. In those games, the ancient Isu often appear as holographic figures or projections, speaking to the protagonist across time, explaining the nature of the pieces of Eden and humanity's hidden past. The woman on the Sky Island feels almost like the same archetype, and this leads us to the Abyss, the realm of floating sky islands. We have seen Kliff solve puzzles where he literally reconstructs building using telekinesis. And just look at the puzzles we are solving. I mean, why the hell are we trying to fit a processor-like unit into what looks like a motherboard? And take a look at that. Reminds you of something? Think about it. You can tell me this is just a coincidence. What I think is that this realm is managed by people who live in the sky. They have created Pywel. They might be aliens, or they could be simply the creator of this world. In Assassin's Creed, these were the Isu. Here, they are these people who built the Magnus structures, interdimensional hub that act like a fast travel network connecting the world. I know this sounds nuts, but this could be a possibility. So, is Pywel a lie? The evidence is overwhelming. A bracelet that grants you special move, cubic artifacts that replace human learning with data downloads, and a world that blends with 11th century forts with missile-firing mechas. Pearl Abyss has spent 7 years building an engine, not just to make a game, but to simulate a world. Maybe the biggest twist in Crimson Desert won't be who wins the throne of Pywel, but the moment Kliff looks at the sky and realizes the clouds are just volumetric fluid simulations, and all of this was fake or just created by someone else. What do you think? Is Kliff a hero fighting for his mercenaries, or is he a character who has finally realized he is trapped in the Matrix?